Piercings. Tons of people have them, whether it's in their ears, lips, cheeks, eyebrows, or even other places such as the neck, chest, or back. You see people walking with piercings all around town and at your school all day, usually every day. But outside of the experience you've had with the piercings that you've seen, this is a couple other people's experience for you to look at, along with a little bit of how society looks at piercings.
And I did have my nose pierced this summer, but I just got rid of it like a few weeks ago.
Why'd you get rid of it?
Because it fell out and I didn't feel like re-poking it.
My name's Kyle Hagen. I've been piercing for 4 years now in the Orangeville area. I apprenticed for 2 years and been piercing, head piercer. To be quite honest with you, I did have a lot of piercing.
For certain jobs, I think that it's necessary, but like more professional jobs, I think, but not all.
Now, if you think like you're working in just a regular store for a high school job, do you think you should have to worry about that if you're not working as a businessman?
No, I don't think that's
Jobs that I had previously did not take into account with it. I personally would like to think that the one main job that I did take into account, because I did kitchen work before I got into tattooing and piercing. Pretty much did everything you could imagine in a kitchen aside from bone. We managed and cooked and bartended and served everything.
I honestly don't really care if anybody has spacers. It's their choice.
Like if you're stretched like mine, most people nowadays really aren't going to give much of a frown. They're going to look at it as a regular thing. More people than not do have stretchers in their ears, or at least some piercing or another.
No, not really. Nope.
It's hard to explain the situation because people do look at each other differently when people have piercings. But it also depends on what the piercing is as well too, I find. Like, for example, if they get their septum pierced, or they get their bridge pierced, or maybe they get some microdermal implants. So it's also a little bit more extreme and a little bit different, and people tend to give the frown on those sometimes, unfortunately.
Do you think it's like just more of the placement of them compared to, because it's more unusual than, or less seen, I guess?
Yeah, you know, placement is a big thing to it, because like a lot of people will look at an eyebrow piercing, for example, and they won't think twice about it, right? Mm-hmm. But then if you took that eyebrow piercing and then you turned it into an anti-eyebrow piercing under the eyebrow here, right on the eye socket, most people look at that and think that's that's ridiculous. Why would you do that and stuff like that? Why don't you just stick with the first one? Because it's such an unusual placement, people aren't gonna react to it the same. But after they get used to seeing it or whatever, it just looks just like a regular eyebrow piercing after a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's more just of new people that you meet that they would be judgmental on it, I guess, compared to somebody that you've known for a while, like, and they just kind of get used to it?
I would like to say yeah, but unfortunately no. I've had people who just meet me and or meet some of my clients, for example, or some of Shane's clients, my teacher, and they'll look at some of the piercings that we have or we've done and they'll be completely fine with it. They normally get that bad reaction the first time they see it, or if it's a new person for you, I should say. Some people react to it completely normal and think, oh, that's just really cool. But then again, I've had friends that I've had for 6, 7, 8 years at a time, right? Like best friends and everything. And then I'll get a new piercing done. They'll look at it and be like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. It doesn't suit you. I think you should take it out. And they get freaked out by it still. Even though, considering I do what I do and they've known me for as long as they have.
Everyone has their own opinions on piercings, tattoos, and body modification. But personally, I think it's your body, and if it makes you happy, then who cares about anybody else's opinion?